Johnny, so since the day he announced he was running for president, well, Donald Trump vowed to bring jobs back to America. And today, he took yet another step to keep that promise, and that is tonight's mini monologue. All right, the president traveled to Kenosha, Wisconsin earlier today. He toured the Snap-on Tools headquarters. After he saw the facility, well, the president addressed the crowd, signed an executive order about buying American and hiring American. Watch this.
Together, we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that more products are stamped with those wonderful words, made in the USA. With this order, I'm directing every single agency in our government to strictly uphold our Buy American laws, to minimize the use of waivers, and to maximize Made in America content in all federal projects. In America, we honor work. We honor grit. We honor craftsmanship. We honor the men and women who turn dreams into reality with their own two hands.
You know what? It's about time. Now, why shouldn't we put American companies first? Why shouldn't we try and hire American workers as much as possible? And yes, buy American products as much as we can. Seems like a no-brainer, but of course, the left, they're going to try and tear this executive order to shreds like past executive orders. Now, for me, it's just my own feeling. I prefer to keep American factories going. That's why I've only been purchasing American cars for all my adult life. So I applaud the president's decision today. It's nice having a commander-in-chief that A, keeps his promises, who's looking out for the American worker for once. Joining us now with reaction, Executive Vice President of the Trump Organization, Donald Trump Jr. How are you? Welcome back.
Hey, man.
Good to see you.
Winning yet?
No.
Good, me neither.
You know, I'm not sick of winning, but I am sick of Congress, as I said in the last segment. I'm tired. You got the speed of your father, and then you got the speed of Congress.
Yeah,
it's here versus here.
Two very different paces, obviously.
It's frustrating.
Listen, I think it's going to take some time. They're going to have to get used to his pace. He's going to set that pace, as he always has in life and in business. He's going to keep doing things that make sense for America, and it's been great. It's been awesome to watch, because as an American, I've seen more done in 2 months than I have in the prior 2 administrations. Actual progress.
I just put it up on the screen in the last segment. I won't do it again, but he's accomplished all of this. But now it's time to repeal and replace Obamacare. Now it's time legislatively to get his economic agenda through. Because we do have 95 million Americans out of the labor force, 50 million in poverty, 50 million on food stamps. That's what the election was about to me.
100%. Listen, it's time to do that, certainly. And by the way, me, if I were him, I would say, you know what, let's just wait, let it collapse. But he's not that kind of guy. He's not going to let all those people.
You really would? You're not like that. You wouldn't.
Maybe I would. But you know what? Yeah. He won't. I know he won't, because he made a promise. He's going to fix this for the hardworking men and women. And we can't bankrupt the middle class of this country to give them insurance in name only. And that's what this is. They have insurance, but you don't really have insurance when I speak to a family of 4 making $50 grand a year who's paying $1,800 a month in premiums and has a $10,000 deductible.
Yeah.
That's not insurance, Sean.
It's not insurance.
And so we have to get people something that's actually affordable. We got to stop all the people from dropping out of the exchanges. We have to be able to have real competition there. And we have to stop the premiums going up.
I talked with Mark Meadows of the Freedom Caucus. They now are on board with health care. So as soon as they get the language written up, they should be able to vote on it. It should pass the House. Apparently, the Senate parliamentarian also approved the language, so there's not a reconciliation issue anymore. And you're right, that has to happen. There's a group, America First. They came out with this ad about Obamacare. Let me play the ad and get your reaction to it.
Obamacare is a disaster. Premiums up, care down. Americans forced into plans we don't want and can't afford. And it's going to get worse. That's why Congressman Gary Palmer is taking on Nancy Pelosi, standing firm, opposing Obamacare. Congressman Palmer is taking on special interests and keeping his promise to the voters to repeal Obamacare. Call Congressman Palmer. Thank him for his courage and for standing with President Trump to repeal Obamacare now.
So this is sort of complimentary as a PAC that's supporting your father's agenda. I know Katie Walsh is a part of it.
Katie Walsh, Brad Parscale, a bunch of the people that were basically part of the campaign have said, hey, this is what we're going to do to support the president's agenda. I'm not even involved. I'm going to be involved on the side because where I see it makes sense, where I see his promises and where they can be delivered and they need to be pushed over the finish line, I'll lend myself to it because it's important. I mean, these are the promises we made to the American people. We made this at the time when I was still part of the campaign. Now it's my father's agenda, and he's going to do that, and that's what makes sense. I mean, that's what this is all about. It's about putting people back to work. It's about making sure that Americans are taken care of before our adversaries abroad.
You know, it's funny because early in the campaign, you were the first to say this to me, and I've known your father for a couple of decades, be it in New York media, and you said my dad's a blue-collar billionaire.
Yeah. Oh, I got a lot of heat for that, but it is. I mean, you see that. That's what it is. That was a big difference in this campaign was he can actually speak to real, hard-working, blue-collar Americans.
And Washington,
not speak at them.
Washington
he can speak with them. Oh, they hate him for, but I mean, when you look at our opponent, there was zero relatability. You couldn't, even if you crafted the perfect statement, you couldn't deliver it. I mean, he really can communicate to those people. And, you know, D.C. hates him for it because he's probably more at home with those people than he is with the D.C. elite, without question.
You know what's funny? Because the AFL-CIO guys came to meet with your dad, like so many other business people, small business people, business owners. Anyway, some union guys, and he's like, have you guys ever been in the Oval Office? Now, this is a group that was beholden, lockstep with the Democratic Party. They'd never been in the Oval Office. So your dad took them in.
They know, but they also know that their constituents, they can't get away with like years past where it was, okay, union bosses tell you what to do, you're going to do. You know, their constituents were largely these people that came out in droves for Trump. And so I think you saw a lot of that. They weren't supporting the other campaign. They weren't doing as much. And now they're actually realizing, hey, Trump's infrastructure plan, the things that Trump wants to put into place, this
Buy
is
American, hire American
for their base.
But by the way, he did that in New York with every building he was building. All right, what do you, when you watch media, probably short of me, I think I'm an island unto myself in the media these days, does it anger you? Because they're going hard and heavy every single day, like the Russian conspiracy. 8 months later, no proof. No evidence.
You know, listen, it does anger me because I know the truth. I know what's there. I was a part of it for so long that it is very frustrating. And it's hard to believe, for me, as an American, that so many people basically rally against what makes sense for America, what the American people voted to put in office, what, you know, all those red counties that was basically the entire map of the United States, other than, you know, New York and L.A. You know, what all those people want, they voted for this. And they're going against it because they want to protect their own interest, and that's scary.
All right, private conversation. I probably shouldn't bring it public, but I'm going to. I thought you should go with your dad to the White House. I think of all the kids, in a lot of ways, you're most like your father. Am I right?
Hey, listen, I think we are in many respects, you know, but I think, you know, that also can create clashes. You know, I think he's got a great team. I think Jared Ivanka in there for the...
No, not against anybody else. I'm saying in addition to...
Practical. Yes, but you also have to be able to then sell and speak to the president. It is certainly, I probably don't do that as well as others. And so it just depends. So, you know, there can be a clash of personalities.
In other words, I think you could be like your dad on Twitter occasionally.
Correct. You know, I think I got some of the savagery. You know, so there is some component of that.
You make up nicknames for people too?
Oh yeah.
I don't want to hear it. Don't even start. Don't even start. No,
but it's, listen, I think what's going on there is great. But again, for me as a citizen, as a concerned American, as a father of 5 kids who are going to grow up in this country, I'm going to get out there just as a citizen and support the people that make sense. To support the people that are going to help him get his agenda through. And that's what really America's about.
All right, now you're going to Montana. You're going to be there Friday and Saturday. And by the way, if you want to see Don Jr., you can go to the website. It's called
the GN4TakeVictory.com.
Committee.com. We'll put it up on the screen. And we'll see you again. Don, good to see you. Thanks for coming back. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Sean.
All right, and coming up.